Okay, so this 4 weeks for my project, I decided that I would choose to do a FM transmitter. Um, for those of you who maybe don't understand what that is, it's basically a mini radio station that you can have pretty much anywhere. I'll show you really quickly what it looks like. Here it is right here. And there's many parts on here, a couple different layers it may seem like. And if I can focus it right, and I will show you a little bit more about it. A lot of people have these in their cars. They're very prevalent, especially in older cars, because you have a radio but no way to play your music that's on your phone. And so, what people figured out a while back was how to create this smaller version of a radio station, basically. And the more professional ones you can tune it to a specific station and then tune your radio to that specific station, and you'll get it to work. Pretty quick overview. There are many parts in here, so we're going to go over each one fairly quickly. So I'll go to my list real quick. So I had to make a copper wire coil, and that is this thing right here. That is basically what determines the frequency. Messing with this will mess with the frequency at which the transmitter is emitting. So that would change. If I change with this, it changes the station that I need to tune to on my radio to find it. Then there are several ceramic capacitors that I have on this board, which a capacitor is kind of like a little battery that holds power, but it's not a battery like a 9-volt that you'll find on my project. Power goes in, it gets stored there, and then when there is not enough power, it will go through. We go on to resistors. I have several resistors. Pretty much on any project that you're going to find a resistor. And then I have a transistor, electrolytic capacitor, and then my battery and aux port, or 3.5 millimeter jack, as most people, or as some people call it, which are kind of my input deals to my project. So, a quick demonstration. Plug the battery in. This is 9 volts as it's from Amazon. Whoop-de-doo, Amazon. Sponsored by Amazon. No, I'm not really sponsored by Amazon. Anyway, so I have it plugged in here, and then I'll plug my phone in here. I don't have my adapter for this, but you plug it in and play the music on your phone. It goes through this cord to the board, and it's an electrical pulse that is kind of working with the sound, and that's how you have the sound. It goes through the board, makes its way around, and then when it gets to this coil, as I said earlier, the wavelength is determined at which it's going to be emitted into the air, and then at the very end of this is where the antenna is, right here. It's not like an antenna that you'd have on a radio, because it's not like pointed way up, it's just a stub, but that's where the sound waves are being emitted from. So my project focused mainly on building this FM transmitter and kind of learning about different parts that I maybe didn't know about. I didn't know a whole lot about capacitors. I didn't know a whole lot about transistors. I have a lot of experience with resistors and batteries, of course. And I never used, this is called a Copper-Clad Board. If you can see, it's kind of got like islands right here, here, and over in here. I made them with more ceramic or more board. And if you can look really closely, on the top it's shiny, on the bottom it's shiny, but in the middle it's not. If I can get that focused right. And so it's basically a layer of material that is, electricity can go through, and then a layer that electricity can't go through, and then another layer. The bottom layer doesn't really matter to me, but you could maybe use it or something. So that way you can create these islands that electricity can jump from here to here with the use of a wire or a stub of a connector. I learned a lot about soldering, kind of the do's and don'ts. Had to really push myself in learning these new things that I never had done before. And it was a lot of fun because when I got it finally working, it was really cool because I could tune the radio to a station and hear music that I was playing, and that was probably the coolest thing I've ever done, honestly. So